Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to the show. Tonight, we have a good one here. It is race number 3 of the Postma Flooring Late Model Stocks Tour tonight here at the Last Great Coliseum. It's Bristol, baby, for 100 laps. These drivers will try and tame this track and see who comes out victorious. Of course, just like all the previous events and here tonight, we kick things off here in practice, then qualifying as practice wraps on up here. Tanner Tallarico sits atop of the board. Last week he finished runner-up. Can he get that one spot better? As we head on over to qualifying, we'll take a look at cars heading to the track. First driver we will take a look at here is the 41 machine. This is TJ Hansen. Hansen off of turn number 4. Hansen is on the clock here at Bristol. Here tonight at Bristol, these late model stocks have a lot of grip, not too much horsepower. So here in qualifying, we should see almost wide open laps here. As Hansen gets loose, he tags the wall at lap number 1. That will disallow lap number 1. Luckily for Hansen, 2 laps here in qualifying. So we'll have one more attempt at it here as he heads through turns 3 and 4 for the final time here in qualifying. Hansen across the stripe. He will go P number 7. He will find himself inside the invert at the moment. Right now, Greggy Long quickest time here. JJ McRae second. As we take a look here now going to the number 1 machine. This is Tanner Tallarico. As Tallarico quickest in practice. We'll see what he can do here in qualifying. Lap number 1 against the fence in 1 and 2. Same with 3 and 4. So Tallarico's going to throw away lap number 1. He's going to try and run the inside lane here on lap number 2 and put all the marbles into this basket. Lap number 1 for Tallarico, only good enough for 14th here. Right now it's Mark Welch on the cutoff line because we have a top 12 invert here tonight. Tallarico across the stripe for the final time, only good enough for P number 8. So I'll put him starting P number 4 here at the moment. Still Greggy Long with the quick time. Steven Rochford finding a ton of speed there. A 15.24 as well. Some great laps. Ron Hart currently P number 3. Now we head to our final qualifier here of a car out on track here. Scott Austin, lap number 1, 13th quick. So Austin's going to try and find a little bit more speed here on lap number 2. Austin to the stripe, does tap the wall, and it looks like, yeah, will not count. So Austin will continue to do laps here, but he will just miss out on the invert there in P number 13. So big shout out here to Greggy Long walking away with the quick time award here tonight in the 21 machine. But with the 12 car invert, it will put Brad Gresham on the pole, and to his outside will be Nicholas DeBoer. We'll get over to the starting lineup here in just one moment as qualifying wrapping on up. 19 cars taking a lap of the 20. But once again, Greggy Long walking away with the quick time award here tonight for race number 3 of the Postma Flooring Late Model Stocks here at Bristol. So that will do it there for qualifying. We'll have a little warm-up in case anyone needs to use the bathroom. Get mentally prepared and get ready for this 100-lap main event. Of course, like we mentioned, top 12 going to be inverted. A little bit of a shake-up there, but it's all in the name of the game. Tire temps here, like we said, first couple laps could be wide open, but this setup on the freer side and with these colder tires, these cars right on the track actually dragging their cross members just a little bit. So these first opening laps going to be sketchy for drivers. But as these tire pressures go on up with heat in the tires, these cars will get off of the track, become more and more racy, as we'll see probably 2 lines of racing here. Of course, Bristol Motor Speedway being one of the dynamic racetracks as well as concrete. Concrete, of course, heats up a little bit differently than the asphalt here on iRacing, so a lot of things drivers going to have to take into for tonight, but it's going to be a great show here. A little bit of information, a nice cool night. Of course, first race under the lights here during 2025 summer season. A nice cool 68 degrees out there, a decent amount of humidity, and about a 5-mile-per-hour wind if you can feel it inside these tall stands here. Of course, we got to give a big shout out to Postma flooring, as well as Boardwalk Subs coming on board with the cautions, as well as LaPlante Racing Products, as they of course once again have the Triple Crown Challenge. Last week was one of them, and 2 more here to go this season, and we'll see who walks away being a LaPlante champion. A lot of good names holding that crown here. Who will be it this season? Of course, stay tuned in the upcoming races to find out that. So here we go, folks. Warm up wrapping on up. We'll get ready to head down trackside to go through tonight's starting lineup for the Bristol Motor Speedway race number 3. Alrighty, folks, we head on over to the pit lane to run through tonight's starting lineup. Starting on the pole will be the 36 machine. That is Brad Gresham. To his outside is the 74. That is Nicholas DeBoer in the 74. Row number 2 on the inside will be made up of Zach Hummel in the 31 machine. And to his outside, last week's runner-up finisher, it is the one of Tanner Tallarico. Stephen Hoffman in the 86 will start 5th. 6th going to the 38. That is Dave Payne. James Pileski in the 93 machine, will roll off 7th. 8th going to Chuck Darling in the 88. Starting in P number 9 will be JJ McRae in the 78. Ron Hart in the 51 will round out the top 10. Starting P number 11 will be Stephen Rochford in the 66, and then it is quick time qualifier, the 21 machine of Greggy Long. Then behind Long here, rolling off P number 13, is the 7 machine of Scott Austin. TJ Hansen in the 41 will roll off 1450. Going to Mark Welch in the 24, making his debut this season. JT Batson in the 906 machine will roll off 16th. 17th going to Zach Hoyer in the 13. Tim Rogers will start deep in the field here tonight in the 48. He will roll off 18th, 19th, going to Jamie Prevost in the 73. And then it is Scott Rochford in the 77. Did not take a qualifying time. He will start shotgun on the field. Of course, one thing, if you've been keeping up with the season, you'll notice no number 33 machine. That is right here, folks. Points leader Justin Brooks not making the call here tonight, so we could have definitely a new winner here this season who will be up to the challenge here, as it looks like Brad Gresham takes an EOL here. That will put Zach Hummel on the point here to lead the field to the green flag. So it'll be Hummel, DeBoer leading the field to the green flag. Lights are out around the Bristol Motor Speedway. We get ready to go racing this time by. The field ready to rock and roll. So with Gresham taking a start towards the back here, that will move up the inside lane here, up 1 position, as here we go. Hummel in control of the restart. He will fire on off, get a great start here. DeBoer has cars right on his tail bumper, but so far we stay even. First 2 single filed on out. Rest of the field trying to figure out what lane they want to be in, where they want to go. It's going to be the inside to start off the race, shortest distance around the speedway. But then from that, it's anyone's game. We'll see people trying to figure out what lane they want to be in, where they want to go. Lap number 1 already in the books here. Lap times here are going to be under 20 seconds a lap. So these 100 laps going to fly on by here. Hummel leading the field here. Stephen Hoffman up into P number 3 James Pileski already into P number 3 here. Some big names out towards the front here as JJ McRae here working over the 1 car of Tanner Tallarico. Right behind them, Dave Payton under fire from Stephen Rochford in the 66. And then right behind them, Hart and Austin go side by side. Things here picking up quickly. Last time by, Greggy Long, fastest car on the speedway. So our quick time qualifier hasn't made up any positions yet. Now has made up 1, but he is going to have a long way to go here. Not too much of a distance, but for sure has to keep within arm's reach of the cars in front of him. Still side by side, 2 by 2 for the next 6 positions in front of Long as Tallarico and McRae continue to go side by side. Dave Payne able to hold off the 66 machine from the high side, so Payton now able to get down to the bottom if he wants. That time by ran the middle. Here I would have to assume he goes down to the bottom, about car length off. Here comes now Ron Hart to the outside of the 66. 2 by 2 racing for a lot of the field. This is heating on up. Here comes Chuck Darling to get in the mix. Right behind him, though, it sits Zach Hoyer in the 13. And then biggest mover so far to kick off the night, the 73 machine of Jamie Prevost. As DeBoer there, a big-time misstep, I think, going into turn number 3. Got a piece of the wall. You can see that right front kicked on out a little bit farther than the fender. Fender definitely crushed on in. As the 74 DeBoer once again gets the wall there off of turn number 2. He's just trying to get back in a rhythm here as he'll probably fall out of the top 15. Right now, 15th going to Tim Rogers, TJ Hansen 16th, Brad Gresham 17th, JT Batson 18th, Mark Welch 19th, and then Scott Rochford hanging on to the tail of the field at the moment. McRae did get around Tallarico for P number 4. As we get our first caution of the night as we went to some side-by-side battle, and looks like the 41 machine of Hansen turned around sideways on the track and looks like may call it a night, at least tows it to pit road here. We'll take a look here, see what happened to the 41 machine, already kind of losing the back end there right at the apex, and that's why I said here, folks, these cars definitely on the edge for these drivers. Everyone's going to have to take care of their car as well as managing those tires. As you can see, Gresham gets a piece of the 41 machine as he slides on around. Same with the 906 of Batson. So quite a few cars, as well as Mark Welch. Wow. So starting off as a 1-car incident, we'll collect 3 more in when things are all said and done. And as you know, you'll hear it mentioned probably many of times here tonight that things happen fast here at Bristol, and that will be the case. Let's ride on board with Mark Welch and see what he saw to bring out caution number 1. As you can see, very tough to see in the corners, and then thought he was clear. That car got shot back up to the right side. And then Mark Welch having nowhere to go. And you can just see how quickly things happen here. 1 second, the track is clear. The next second, it is blocked by a car. And I mentioned it a little bit there, folks. In these corners, if you don't have your field of view, your driver height set kind of lower in the car, it is very, very hard to see with these bankings and how tight these corners are. So people are going to have to be on their toes if we do get any sort of incidents here tonight at Bristol. So Zach Hummel this time by at the stripe will get the choose here. Can choose either the inside or the outside. Looks like the wheel in 31 machine will take the inside on the restart. Did a good job there with the initial start. First restart of the night, though. So Hummel going to have a little bit of data to go off to, but we'll see how he handles it. A lot of fast cars right on his tail bumper as well as to his outside. Of course, with the choose, lights are out around the speedway, so that means one thing. We are about to go back to green flag racing. It's going to be Hummel Hoffman, the dual H's on the front row. Zach Hummel can fire off anytime. Last time went in the restart box. This time does the same. Hoffman able to keep a nose to the right rear quarter panel of the 31 as they dive into turn number 1. Hummel will get clear of the 86, having the shorter distance around. Now we'll see if Hoffman can hold off James Pileski for P number 2. Tanner Tallarico got a great start up on the high lane, was able to get around, on the inside lane, was able to get around McCray here, who now has a couple cars to the inside lane here. 78 may have to get down to the bottom side in a hurry, but not going to have the opportunity that time to do so. Pileski making quick work of Hoffman here. Now Hoffman under fire from Tallarico, and here we go, side-by-side battle for the race lead off of turn number 4. It's going to be the new race leader, James Pileski, will slam the door shut on the 31. Oh man, Hummel got big time loose there at the apex, had to chase that race car up the hill, and he will lose a couple spots here as, oh, McCray about to go sideways. He will somehow hang on to that race car. Wow. How did McCray hang on to that? Him and Ron Hart made contact, and somehow they keep it rolling. It's Hummel way off the pace off turn number 2. Looks like the 31 machine of Zach Hummel will bring it down to the infield, as maybe not fully, as it looks like decent amount of damage, but then quite a few cars here stopped off turn number 2. Or excuse me, turn number 4. So turn number 4 being a tricky spot here, as you see McCray involved, Jamie Prevost, as well as Nicholas DeBoer. So let's take a look, see what happened. As, oh man, it looks like maybe Prevost and Tim Rogers get together to kick off that caution, as we'll try and take a look at the 73 machine and see what happened to him to kick things off. So Tim Rogers to the quarter panel of the 73, didn't have the nose to the left rear, and Prevost holding that low lane, and they of course make contact, and then significant contact to the 74 DeBoer, and then Brad Gresham will get in the middle, make contact with both of those cars, and it looks like McCray will tag the 73 just a little bit, at least has the least amount of damage from that. But another 4-car incident after starting with one car for sure going around, but kind of started with 2 cars there. So with that, we now have quite a few cars down on pit road. Hummel, Prevost, Gresham, McCray, DeBoer, and Hansen all still down on pit road here tonight. So with that incident, I would say there's about maybe 13 cars out on the speedway without any sort of damage, at least from contact with another car here. So under this second yellow of the night, we will get to a quarter of the way done with the race here. So this race definitely on the shorter side, at least lap-wise, than we've seen the first 2 races. First 2 races been 125 laps, but since this is big enough for a half mile, the race distances and the race lengths and time still work out to be about the same. Here at the stripe, the 93 will have the choose. Looks like we'll choose the inside lane here on the restart. So James Pileski in the 93 in control of this restart. And then to his outside here, the 1 car of Tanner Tallarico. So I'd say let's go to the top of the stands here for restart number 2. We'll get a view from the fan cam up here, kind of in the middle of the front stretch heading to turn number 1 here, as the iRacing pace car will head to pit road once again. James Pileski in control of the field. Pileski can fire off at any time. We'll do so now and get a great start over Tanner Tallarico for second. Tallarico now under fire for P number 2 as Stephen Hoffman able to get around the 1 car. So Hoffman back up into P number 2. Tallarico able to get down on the bottom lane here as everyone else further on back pretty much sorting themselves out. Only car still up on the top lane will be the 7 car. That is Scott Austin trying to find some momentum up top. And as you can see here, folks, with these late model stocks, with the momentum and kind of the horsepower and the grip levels these cars have, Austin doesn't have to go up to the wall to make that car turn. He can stay right in the middle, try and stay right on the corner panel of the 66. It looks like the 66 of Rochefort able to get clear. Now here comes Ron Hart to fill in that gap. Hart gets a little loose there on entry, able to save that race car. But these cars on pins and needles here tonight at Bristol with the speeds these guys are trying to carry into these corners. Here comes now fast qualifier of the night, Greggy Long, trying to get to the inside of the number 7 machine. And right behind them, the 38 of Dave Payton. So single filed out for the top 5 here. First battle is these cars side by side here, as Austin still has not found his way to the bottom lane. He's hoping that inside lane starts to heat on up and get some momentum up on the top side. As Long with the advantage down the backstretch, about a half of a car length. Looks like we'll get clear off turn number 4. Yeah, Long will slam the door shut. That will now open up the door for Dave Payne here, but Austin able to find a gap, finally back into the inside lane, all the way back in P number 7. Up towards the front though, Poleski leading the way here. Stephen Hoffman hanging on to P number 2 after taking that away from Tallarico. And here comes Stephen Rochefort. Last couple times has been faster than the cars in front of him. So the 66 trying to reel in some cars for a podium finish. Looks like at the moment here, 14 cars on the lead lap. Last car on the lead lap is a 77 machine of Scott Rochefort. He will now make a pass for P number 13 as a battle between Jamie Prevost in the 73 and the 77 of Scott Rochefort. Rochefort with the no damage, able to get on around here. Looks like Zach Hummel out on the racetrack here. So 15 cars still on the racetrack here. Hummel just needs a caution flag anytime here before the end of the race. He can get back on the lead lap. Oh man, Poleski got a little bit loose there. He was up on the apron. Battle for second as Tallarico looks to the inside of Hoffman. Didn't quite have enough of a run, had to back on out of it. So second on back, starting to accordion just a little bit. Drivers starting to get closer and closer to each other as they get a little bit of lap traffic in the 41 machine. He'll get up and out of the way of the field. Appreciate it from the 41 of Hansen. Now a little bit more lap traffic right in front of our race leader. Poleski will put the 73 machine of Prevost 1 lap down. Then it is Scott Rochefort will be right in front of them as well. All cars getting up and out of the way here, so leaders will get by cleanly as Tallarico once again putting the pressure on the 86 of Hoffman. Right on board with the 1 car of Tallarico. You can just see the speeds we have here tonight, as well as the limited visibility as we get a caution flag on the speedway. Zach Hoyer slow on the track in the 13 machine. We'll take a look here to see what brought out our 3rd caution of the night, as Zach Hoyer here getting into turn number 3. Prevost there had to get on the binders for Scott Rochefort in the 77, and then I think Zach Hoyer just didn't realize the closing right there. Couldn't have any time to react there as he tried to get on the binders but didn't have enough time, as a 13 machine will slide to a stop, and that will bring out our 3rd caution of the night. Here we go. We'll see some strategy done now. Looks like Poleski down on pit road. Same with Tallarico, Stephen Rochefort, Greggy Long, Ron Hart, Dave Payton, Tim Rogers, Chuck Darling, and of course Zach Hoyer all down on pit road. So that'll only leave about 3 people out on the racetrack. That being Stephen Hoffman, Scott Austin, and JJ McCrae. So with this at the stripe, this will be Hoffman's first laps led of the season. So always a cool thing to have. We'll get a bonus point for leading a lap for the 86 team. As everyone else down on pit road, we'll take a look here to the pit cam, see when drivers get back out to the racetrack here. As it looks like James Pileski down and away first, same with then the 66 of Stephen Rochford, Greggy Long, Zach Coyer. Then the rest of the cars still down on pit road are the cars that took 4 tires. So Tallarico going to be the first car with 4, then Dave Payton, Ron Hart, Tim Rogers, and Chuck Darling. So not only did we have split strategy down pit road, on pit road we had split strategy, about half the drivers choosing to take 2 tires, the other half taking 4 fresh virtual Goodyear tires. As it looks like lights are out on the pace car, but not double filing it on up here, so we'll have to make sure that, yeah, here we go, doubling it on up now. So Stephen Hoffman gonna elect the inside lane here. He has control of the restart once that iRacing pace car hits pit road. The 86 can fire off at any time. As it looks like back of the field not quite set, so we'll do one more pace lap, make sure everyone's all set to rock and roll here and everyone's in the right spot. Looks like this time by Tower gives the thumbs up. We are good to let him loose next time by. So it's going to be a Hoffman Austin front row restart here. And of course Hoffman, Austin, and McCrae, top 3, all out on old tires. Then it is Pileski, Rochford, and Long all on 2 tires. Then the rest of the cars that have not been in an incident yet on 4 fresh tires. Here we go. iRacing pace car this time should make the left down pit road, and that it does. We ride on board with our leader. He fires on off, and we go back to green flag racing as Stephen Hoffman gets a great jump on the field behind him. Hoffman away. It looks like Austin able to get to the inside lane. McCrae will slam the door shut on Pileski. Pileski gets loose, has to chase the race car 3 wide off turn number 4. Man, oh man, if there's one thing Pileski didn't want is to lose some track positions to some fast cars, and that's what happened right there as he will slam the door shut right on the nose of the 38 of Payton. Greggy Long here under fire. Ron Hart able to get around. Long will shoot one back to the inside of the 51. He will try and get that spot back here. Side by side, almost contact there into turn number 3 as they will continue to drag race down the front stretch. Man, oh man, these guys know they have a tire advantage if they want to use them. A lot of drivers using them up early. As out in front though, last time by Stephen Hoffman, fastest car on the racetrack. So Hoffman, Austin starting to check out here. They are on old tires, but so far has not been a factor. McCrae on his own island. Then the first car with fresh tires, Tanner Tallarico, up into P number 4. Looks like Stephen Rochford here stuck on the wrong side of the track, at least at the moment, up in that second groove here, as now the 93 of Pileski will try and get on around him. Looks like Rochford will be able to hang on to that spot. He has a little bit of moment there into turn number 3, but able to still hang on to P number 7. So far, single file racing throughout the field here. Still Pileski trying to make anything happen. Able to fire one down to the inside of the 66. Pileski last couple times by has been faster. Oh, man, Rochford, big time moment there off turn number 2. But you guys saw it there at the apex, maybe drove it in a little bit too deep. You saw sparks under the car. That means that frame made contact with the track and just trying to hang on to that race car. Man, a big time moment. Luckily able to walk away with the car in one piece here, as now we see Tanner Tallarico able to get around the 78 for P number 3. Here comes now Ron Hart and the 21 of Greggy Long. Out in front though, Stephen Hoffman, Scott Austin have been able to check out in front of the field, about a second advantage for those drivers to our third place runner. As it looks like McRae will continue to lose spots here, losing the spot to Hart, to Long, and now maybe to the 93 machine of Pileski, as Pileski times that pass perfectly. Man, that is a textbook pass by the 93 to time that run and then just cut underneath that 73. So Pileski will get clear. That'll put him back up into P number 6 here. McRae down to 7th on those old tires. I believe when he came down to get some service, I think he took tires. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure 78 may have took his tires a little bit earlier here tonight. Further on back here, Zach Hoyer, Tim Rogers duking it out. This is for a top 10 finish at the moment, as Zach Hoyer would take P number 10 away from the 48 of Tim Rogers. I tell you what, Tim Rogers always working with some sweet looking paint schemes. Of course, here tonight, purple and black look great under the lights. Up in front though, Stephen Hoffman continues to lead the way, has taken over the race lead from this pit strategy and has not looked back, but it hasn't been a easy cruise into the sunset, as Scott Austin has remained within about 2 car lengths of our race leaders. Hoffman gets big time sideways. Here comes Austin to the inside. Side by side battle for the race lead. These guys have to be smart as Hoffman gets turned. Austin into the wall. The leaders wreck each other. Oh man, oh man. If their night had a roller coaster tracker, that would be a bad one there. That is a low point, as it looks like Austin will finally hopefully get a clear track to get it turned on around. Looks like we'll be stopped there once again, but let's take a look to see what brought out our 4th yellow of the night. As this will be a good shot here. Hoffman up top, our race leader. Austin had the run down the front stretch. I think Austin just got a little bit loose. A little bit of netcode. You saw the 86 get sideways before contact. A little bit of netcode between the 2 cars. But Austin maybe thought Hoffman was going to be maybe a half car length higher to the wall. They made contact, and Austin, definitely the worst end of that one, made pretty significant contact to the inside wall. I think Stephen Hoffman going to be halfway decent. It looked like only tapped that inside wall here. With first and second there getting themselves wrapped up in an incident, that will gift the race lead back to the, I should say, to the 1 car of Tanner Tallarico. Zach Hummel was the lucky dog that time by, so that'll move us back to 13 cars on the lead lap as we start to approach our countdown clock. That comes out at 25 laps to go. Right now, still sitting about, it'll be about 30 laps to go once we go back to green flag racing. As Stephen Hoffman getting that 86 car serviced, right side's going up on that car. We'll have to see if left sides go up as well. It looks like yes, it will. So Hoffman will take a 4 tire stop. We'll have time to do that here. Alrighty, here we go. Tanner Tallarico at the choose line. We'll take the inside lane, so we'll re-rack, restack the field, and get ready to go back green flag racing with a 30-lap shootout left here tonight at Bristol. It's going to be a Tallarico Hart front row restart. Tallarico has control here, can fire off at any point once that iRacing pace car heads down to pit road. And right behind them, two fast cars. Greggy Long, quick time qualifier. James Pileski making his way back up through the field as here we go. Tanner Tallarico away. Ron Hart shuts the door quick. He gets back to that inside lane through turns 1 and 2. Greggy Long will be able to clear the 93 of Pileski. So far, top 4 single filed out now. Dave Payton tries to see if there's something up in that second groove here. JJ McRae will be able to get clear. Oh man, Payne way up the track. Same with the 88 of Darling. Darling had a big moment there, able to save that race car. As it looks like Stephen Hoffman on those fresh tires. How quick can he get through the field? How damaged is that 86 car? Last time by, fastest lap by anyone of the night. Just put in by the 21 of Greggy Long. He is trying to finish up on the podium here tonight. Has not had the luck the first 2 races. Trying to change that here tonight at Bristol. Long not quite able to get to the inside of the 51 machine. Will lose a little bit of momentum, about a half a car length, but he has to be careful. Can't afford to lose too much of that time because he has Pileski right on the rear bumper of that 21 machine. Yellow flag out here for the 5th time here tonight. It looks like it might have been the 906 machine as he heads to pit road here quick, as we'll try and figure out what happened to bring out caution number 5. The Busch Light 906 machine there. It looks like that bump coming off of turn number 4 collects another race car here as Batson hits that bump, tries to save it a little left, right, and then, woo, a pretty significant hit to the inside wall. I mean, all 4 tires off that race car. We're going to watch at full speed here just to get the amount of speed that these cars are traveling around Bristol, because even though he was sliding it, a big time hit for the 906. His night probably going to be done after that one. So with that, it looks like the 73 machine of Jamie Prevost going to be the lucky dog here, this time under the 5th yellow. So I believe that'll put Prevost back on the lead lap here. So here we go, folks. We have clicked over to the countdown clock, this time at the stripe. It's going to be 24 laps to go as we get the 2 to green signal. So while we have a quick moment, a little word from our partners over at Premier Setup Shop. Alrighty, folks, we are back at Bristol Motor Speedway. Once again, the 1 car of Tanner Tallarico going to choose the inside lane. I have a feeling we'll see that all night long if we do get any more yellows, because that inside lane having the shorter distance through turns 1 and 2 when these cars aren't up to temp, or should say up to speed, as well as when they are up to speed, it seems like that lane definitely the preferred lane. So with our restart, I'm actually going to take a break here and let a little turn 3 turn it up on the restart here. Alrighty, folks, the field will slow on down for the 6th caution of the night as it looks like we may have had an incident with James Pileski. I think he was the first car involved. Zach Coyer, you can see with the 13, a lot of heavy front end damage to the 13 as well. As yeah, Pileski looks like broken right front suspension. That car hanging on down here, and James Pileski looks like probably not going to be the happiest camper. Might just call it a night at that. That is a tough break. Let's see what happened to the 93 machine. Pileski and Steven Rochefort going into turn number 3. Rochefort not having the position, and then gets in the left rear quarter panel of Pileski, and sadly Zach Coyer just having nowhere to go and no time to react, and just an innocent bystander in that. Let's slow things down and see what happened here. As here going into turn number 3, Rochefort had a run, but definitely didn't have the position there. Tags the left rear, and if you do that here at Bristol, it only spells one thing. It's going to be a little bit of calamity. Luckily, JJ McCrae, great maneuver in there to just sneak around that incident. He will, man, move of the race right there for at least a wreck avoidance, but a tough break for Coyer and Pileski to get involved in that one. So field is slowed on down for the 6th time here tonight, but we are within sprinting distance of the finish. 100 lap race here, coming down to about a 15 lap shootout here at the moment once we go back to the green flag here. Tanner Tallarico all the way down on the apron, making sure he makes it obvious where he's choosing. He will once again choose the inside lane. Lights go out around the Bristol Motor Speedway. We will restack, re-rack the field, and get ready to go back to green flag racing. Tanner Tallarico here in that one car just has to hit his marks, has to keep that car right down to that inside lane so tight. That's got to be tight as a cornrow out there to that inside yellow line here. Not let a car get a nose to the inside, and Tallarico could be picking up his first win of this season. Ronhart here trying to time the restart, does not there. He will get turned by Greggy Long, and we will go right to a caution flag for the 7th time here tonight. Oh man, right there, right from the restart here. We'll take a look one more time. Hart trying to time the restart from Tallarico. They both get on the loud pedal here. Greggy Long not quite as low as Tallarico, so maybe Hart thought he had a little bit more room, but he was the one kind of moving down just a little bit. Of course, Hart trying to get to that inside lane as quickly as possible. That time did not time it right. We'll restart back in 13th. Field will catch the iRacing pace car here, and with this now, Greggy Long moves up to P number 2. Steven Rochefort up into the podium positions into P number 3. JJ McCrae send P number 4, and then Tim Rogers up into 5th in the 48th. And then don't look now, folks. Stephen Hoffman in about 20 lap newer tires, he has raced his way up into 6th. Hoffman here, though, will start on the outside lane. If he was restarting on the inside, he's hoping for maybe a couple more cautions, quickly pick off some drivers here, but we'll restart on the outside lane. Going to be interesting. See if the 86 with those fresher tires has any more to save. I mean, battling for the race, he gets turned on around into the inside wall, has rebounded to at least 6th at the moment with about 13 to go. So if we thought things were crazy on that last restart here, folks, it's about to get turned up even more. As here we go, Tanner Tallarico once again going to choose the inside lane. Now Greggy Long, our quick time qualifier tonight. Started in P number 12. He is on the outside of the front row. As here we go once again. Lights are out around the speedway. We are going green next time by. Tallarico just has to keep doing what he's been doing, keeping the drivers on their toes when he decides to get on the loud pedal and bring us back to green here. Has done a good job of that so far. Just has to keep doing that as the iRacing pace car will head down pit road. And here we go, folks. Tallarico away nice and early. He will get the field rocking and rolling long, able to get down to the bottom side. Side-by-side battle for third here, as it looks like Rochefort able to get clear here. JJ McRae up on the outside lane. Here comes now the 48 machine of Tim Rogers, and right behind them, like I said, Stephen Hoffman in the 86 with fresh tires. Oh man, almost contact there between Rogers and McRae. Here comes Stephen Hoffman with the run. Hoffman able to get to the left rear quarter panel of Rogers. They'll go side by side for P number 5 here. It looks like Rogers able to get clear of the 86. Out in front though, we are inside 10 laps to go. Tanner Tallarico on some blistering pace. Same with the driver in second of Greggy Long. These two starting to put a little bit of breathing distance between them and third position Stephen Rochefort. As Long right on the back bumper of Tallarico. If Tallarico makes a mistake here, Long can capitalize as we ride on board with our race leader here inside of 10 laps to go. You can take a look at our lap times here. Best time done in this restart, and these guys flying out here less than 1/100th of a second to fall off. These guys are pushing these race cars to the limits. Nose to tail out here, about a half a car length to a car length distance between the two of them. How long can these two drivers push this pace, and who will be the first car to get kind of sideways or out of sorts? This time by, it will be 4 laps to go for Tallarico. Further on back here, Stephen Hoffman, Tim Rogers still side by side, duking it on out. Looks like now Hoffman finally gets clear of Rogers. I put Stephen Hoffman back into the top 5. Here comes now Chuck Darling to try and get 6th away from Rogers. Rogers better be careful here, because now here comes the 38 of Dave Payne. Rogers gets a piece of the wall. He will finally find an opening to the bottom back into P number 8. Popsicle still sticks up in the air this time for Tallarico. Has stretched the gap to about 2 car lengths to the 21 of Long. As long as Tallarico sees the white flag, he will this time. So race is official. We're racing back to the stripe here. Tallarico just 4 more corners, and he will pick up his first win of the season. Only winner so far not to be named, Justin Brooks. And off of turn number 4, Tanner Tallarico wins race number 3 of the Postma Flooring Late Model Stocks here at Bristol. Greggy Long finally gets a finish he is proud of. He will finish second, and then it is Stephen Rochefort and the 66 rounding out the top 3. Now the question is, Bristol added a new feature here at the racetrack. Is Tanner Tallarico gonna try and find it and use it? He will keep that car under speed here, but we got to see if he uses that cool new feature here tonight at Bristol. As he will bring it down to the front stretch, he will keep things rolling, so he might be trying to find it here. Or we might do some burnouts here on the front stretch for the fans. Where is this one car going? Camera's glued to it. Can he find where he might be thinking? Now he's going to burn it on down here. Bring it back to the front stretch. As he will get up to the fence here. Wave to all these fans here at the last great Coliseum. Always some great shots here. As Tanner Tallarico will do the Polish victory lap here at the half-mile speedway. I know he's going to be pumped up. And don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be chatting with these drivers here in just a little bit. As, yeah, here we go. Tanner Tallarico will take this one car up to the top here and up to the new victory circle here tonight at Bristol. We'll bring it up there to the checkered flags. And how about this? This is some cool stuff out here. And I hope iRacing continues to do this here as Tallarico trying to get those rear tires to spin. He will do a burnout up the ramp as he'll try and get that thing righted in the right direction here. As he gets after a hard-fought race, he will get some parallel parking practice, you know, a couple turns on the way, but here we go. The one car of Tallarico brings it down to victory lane, and what an awesome sight to see this added here at Bristol. And don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back to chat with our top three, that being Rochefort, Long, and Tallarico. We'll be back after a quick commercial break and get these drivers out of their race cars.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Alrighty, folks, we are back here at the Bristol Motor Speedway, dialing up our third place finisher. That is the 66 machine of Steven Rochefort. Steven,
Hey,
you got a
nerd.
copy? It's a Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Hey, I got you, Brett.
Alrighty, my man, how are we feeling? Finally on the podium steps here in the late model stocks.
It's a hard race. Cars felt pretty tight. As always, these late models, they just drive so much different than the street stocks, and that's just what I'm used to. But it's fun when you can run well and manage to pick up a podium here.
Yeah, that you did here tonight. 100 laps at Bristol may not seem like a lot for most people, but you guys having to work these race cars out here tonight. You know, you drive it in too deep, could bottom out, have to save the race car, and then like you said, you start running, it starts to build tight anytime you come here tonight, or anytime you come to Bristol.
Yeah, yeah, it's rough. It's tight quarters, and the whole race, you're just trying to keep it pinned down on the bottom if that's where you're running and not getting to the guy on your outside. And I mean, honestly, the track it gets pretty even if you're on even tires with the guy on the outside. Then you can run side by side for laps on end. Yeah, it was pretty decent.
Yeah, that it was here tonight for you, Steven. And I got to ask you, one of those three drivers to, of course, pit at that lap about 50 mark, but then one of those few drivers to then take right side tires. What was the thought process with that, and how did you think it worked out?
Well, I didn't know if I could take four tires or not and not get lapped. So I was like, well, I'll come in, take lefts, just see what it does. I didn't feel like I had a chance to win just um, off of my tire conservation skills alone. So I figured I'd save the right sides and hope for a late caution with about 30 to go, and then try to make a run at it. Put the lefts on, and it didn't seem to upset the car too much. Fell a couple of spots there, but ended up settling in around eighth. Um, then those guys they got together up front and kind of opened it up so I could come down and get those fresher tires on the right side. And I thought that maybe if I got some inside restarts and could get up there, I could contend. But I mean, even with starting third there on the last restart, they just drove away from me. So got some work to do for sure. But ultimately, it's a pretty decent night and didn't turn out too bad. Got into the 93 there. I felt like he came down over me, but if not, then I mean, I'll take the penalty on that. It really felt like a racing deal, but if it was my fault, then I do apologize to him too as well. Um, but yeah, pretty decent race. Had a lot of fun. Congrats to Tanner and Greg, and great race to them.
Yeah, that it was some great racing here. Side by side action for a couple laps, but it seemed like that bottom side is where you wanted to be.
Yeah, the bottom side, it was pretty tight down there. If you were on the top and you ran somebody down, you would definitely you could definitely cut off their momentum and run them. But ultimately, I just wanted to roll the bottom. Just I felt a lot safer down there. I felt like I was burning the tires a little bit less. Um, so yeah, I definitely agree. It was bottom dominant for sure. But yeah, those guys were just in another zip code tonight.
Yeah, they definitely had a lot of speed. But yeah, Steven, one of those drivers, pulling double duties on both night, both the late model stocks and the street stocks. And, street stocks opening night, you pick up a win here tonight, a podium. Of course, solid finishes in both to kick off the season. I'm sure you're looking at that big prize of, the overall short track championship. I know it's early, but that's got to be playing a factor in you a little bit.
I didn't even know that they were doing a overall short track championship for this late model and street stock league. So that's good news. I think I've only missed one, so I can't miss another late model race. But I do plan on racing for the championship over in the street stock, so you might as well double down and try to do it here too, I guess. Yeah, that's exciting. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's exciting to have. And so far, only person to walk away with that is Zach Nichols. So you could put your name on another great list. I mean, you have LaPlante, Triple Crown winner to your name, as well as adding that. That would be some awesome stuff to see.
Yeah, it'd be some good company. Zach's wicked fast. I really wish that we were racing with him weekly, but real racing takes precedent to that. So, um, yeah, that'd be cool. Hoping for a good season and hopefully we can continue with these good runs.
Yeah, I hope so too. And before we let you go, Steven, and celebrate a podium finish here tonight, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and have you thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors on the race car, some of those all important teammates, or maybe some people watching at home as well.
Yeah, of course. Just gotta thank you guys broadcasting, letting everybody at home watch. My wife for letting me do it. I gotta thank Team VRT with my dad there. He doesn't he's not super aggressive and runs up front all the time, but he can squeak some out sometimes, and he'll top 10 them to death. That's for sure. Um, gotta thank Tanner and all the admins. It takes a team to put on races like this, and there's a lot of behind the scenes work and time that it takes, and we definitely appreciate that. Appreciate the hosts. Gotta thank Postma Flooring for coming on and sponsoring the late models. Yeah, that's about it. Appreciate it.
Alrighty, awesome stuff, Steven. And yeah, you mentioned your dad. He did, in fact, get another top 10 finish here tonight as well.
Yeah, he'll grind him out. He will.
That he will, and I don't think a mark on that car, so that is awesome to see. So, Steven, you have yourself a great rest of the night, and hopefully we'll be talking to you again here tomorrow back at Bristol.
Sounds like a plan.
Alrighty, folks, that was our third place finisher, the 66 machine of Stephen Rochford. As we now take a look here to our third place. Geez, I guess I am tired. We'll go to our second place finisher, that being the 21 machine of Greggy Long. Greggy, do you got a copy of Spread the Jet in the booth here?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, my man. How are we feeling? Finally get a good finish after a tough first 2 weeks of the season.
Oh, man. I mean, this race was definitely needed. I think I had probably the fastest car on the track all day. Car felt great. Everybody raced me pretty clean. I don't know what happened with me and Ron there when on that restart, but I didn't mean to get into him. If I did, I know he tried slotting in. Everybody was trying to get to that bottom because the top gear was pretty much gone halfway through the race.
Yeah, that it looked like, just like you just mentioned, Greggy, you know, everyone muscling to get to that bottom side as quickly as possible. And, you know, with that right there on the restart, does that change your mindset at all about how we're going with the finish? Especially then that puts you to the outside for the next restart, and if there's any more.
Yeah, I knew Tanner was going to get a huge jump there, and I was trying to hold him down to the bottom and stick him right on that yellow line so he couldn't get the RPMs up in his car, and it didn't work. He got me there, and I ended up running my fastest lap right after that caution. So I think maybe if I had a better, qualifying, I ran fast time, and if I would have had a better spot to start in the race, I feel like I could have got it done. Tanner got loose in his qualifying and started towards the front, so that helped him a lot with tire saving, and then he got to take tires, and he could only take right sides if he wanted to, and yeah, it was a great race though.
Yeah, that it was. And yeah, Greggy, like you mentioned, you know, quick time for you here tonight, fastest lap of anyone on track. I mean, what was clicking for you here with these late model stocks at Bristol? How'd you find the speed that was in this 21 machine?
You know, I'm not quite sure. I haven't even ran the combination of these cars ever on. I don't think I've ever ran Bristol, but Bristol's a very fun track in my eyes. You know, I come from them short track routes, and it's kind of like a big Winchester, honestly, but it's Bristol.
Yeah, that it is. And just like Winchester, here for a fast lap, you got to hang this thing out and trust that it's going to stick.
Oh yeah. The cars were definitely on edge, and it was really easy. You kind of whoever was on the throttle more won the race, and I actually was on the skinny pedal on the right a lot more than most of the guys out there, and I was just kind of hoping the car wouldn't break loose and wreck. It was kind of sketchy at the beginning of the race, being back in traffic. You kind of had to half throttle it. It's like these cars picked up a draft, and they were so tight in dirty air, but as soon as you hit that clean air, they just hooked up and took off.
Yeah, and with that sketchiness, even at the start, you know, I had to start 12th, but here tonight, even Greggy for yourself, biggest mover as well. So you're able to get through the field. What was kind of the key with that, keeping on that skinny pedal?
Just staying patient. You know, when you wreck at Bristol, you wreck big. So I was trying to stay out of people as much as I could and not make anybody mad. You know, if the whole field's mad at you, you're not gonna have any friends. It's gonna be a lot harder to drive past somebody without them getting into you. So I was trying to keep it clean, and I think I did a pretty good job. I know I got into a few guys, and I apologize for that. But that's racing, and I had to do what I had to do to get to the front.
Yeah, that you did, and to the front you did go, finishing P number 2 here tonight. Getting to chat with me, so I'm sure that feels pretty good to rebound with the season, because I know you had some tough breaks. Race number 1, you only got 1 lap in, so to come out tonight, hopefully that helps the mindset and what's the game plan going forwards.
Oh, we're just we're gonna come back and we're gonna run for points, but we're gonna have to have strong nights like this to run up front, and hope some guys that are running up front have some tough nights. Like, there's some fast guys in here this season. I know there's not as many as there was last season, but it's because everybody's working on their stuff and doing all that stuff at the real track. So it's a lot harder to find time to come in here. But I will be points racing. I will be here every week, and hopefully we can finish top 3. That's the goal. After this season has took a downhill in the first 2 weeks, and yeah, that first week kind of sucked. Only be able to run one lap. I ran more practice laps than I ran race laps that night, and then we had a strong car at Five Flags, making our way up to the front, and got into a little scuffle and costed us. So it's just tough racing. Everybody wants to win. It's a kind of a crown jewel on iRacing to win in the ASRC with all these fast guys. You got Justin Brooks running in here most of the time. You got Zach Nichols, ex-Coke racer. You got Jaden. You want to beat those guys. So everybody drives. Sometimes people drive over their heads. Some people just run smooth races.
Yeah, that's like you said, a lot on the line here in these ASRC races. A lot of fast drivers here, but yeah, Greggy, kind of going back to the point you mentioned before, the real life race car stuff. A lot of people, taking a break this season, but you're doing the intensity of both doing that and iRacing. So, what do you got planned for this season with the real life racing stuff?
Well, here in a few weeks, we're going to get the late model out and take the late model to Owasso Speedway, but we're only running that car part-time for the big shows. And then I have a truck we have an All-American truck class at Owasso. Last year I won the championship, so this year we kind of had a tough start, and it ended kind of like the first race of the league did, and I got junked on the first lap of a heat race. So we got that back together, got a new truck out, and I ended up taking fourth this weekend. So we're gonna try and carry the momentum out on real life, and hopefully touch victory lane once this year.
Yeah, that would be awesome to see. Yeah, last season you had a great one here. Of course, with the tough start to this season, new truck under you. Best of luck with that, my man.
Hey, thank you, and thank you for broadcasting this, and thank you to everybody who was watching. It was definitely a fun battle there with Tanner, and I'd like to thank him for running me clean, even when he ended up behind me after we took tires and stuff. It was a great run.
Yeah, that it was. It was an exciting race to watch you go through the field as well as that battle to the finish. And yeah, I'll let the mic over to you one more time in case you got to thank anyone else, whether sponsors on the car, some of those teammates, or maybe some people that might be watching at home.
Yeah, well, first I'd like to thank Justin Brooks Designs. Justin Brooks is a great guy, and he hooked me up with some sweet paint schemes for this year. You'll see the red car next week. He's the best of the best painters on iRacing. He does a lot of stuff, and if you need anything, go check him out. I'd like to thank everybody around me for racing me clean and having fun battles. And yeah, I'd like to thank you most for taking time out of your day to broadcast this crazy mess or great race. You don't know what you're getting yourself into each week. We race with different guys every week, so you get your solid group of guys, and then you get guys that you don't know, so it's harder to get by them. And I love the invert for that reason. I just wish I could have started a little further up in the invert.
Yeah, that's the joys and the kind of heartbreak with the invert. But here
Oh yeah.
tonight, Greggy, awesome job here. Congrats on the runner-up finish, and as well as thank you for being part of the league to put on the show that all of us get to enjoy and watch at home.
Oh yeah, for sure. You'll see me every week, and hope everybody has a great night.
All righty, you as well, Greggy. Good luck here tomorrow night with the street stocks here at Bristol.
Oh yeah, thank you. We're gonna try and carry over the momentum from tonight to tomorrow night. Them street stocks are a little loosey goosey around here, so we're just gonna hold on.
Sounds like an awesome plan. Well, you, my man, here tonight, go celebrate the runner-up finish and have a good one.
Yep, you too.
Alrighty, folks, that was our second place finisher, the 21 machine of Greggy Long. Now we'll head down to Victory Lane and talk to the man of the hour, picking up his first win of the season. It is the one car of Tanner Tallarico. Tanner, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Gotcha, Brett.
Alrighty, man. picking up win number 1 of the season. The only winner so far that's not named Justin Brooks. How are we feeling after 100 laps here at Bristol?
Feeling pretty good because I was feeling pretty washed up there for a minute. We were just joking around down in Discord. I think the last time I won anything on iRacing was in ASRC way back in our first take on the ARCA series at Daytona, and I think that was like 2.5 years ago. So feels good to get it done again. It's always kind of nice to remind yourself that you can still do it, and when you're not racing all the time and you're not running official races all the time, it gets a lot harder to get in and like really get after it. So I'm only racing once a week, really. It's just with the league, and the last couple of restarts were not good for my hairline and probably not good for my heart rate. So we got through it though. It was fun racing with Greggy there at the end and Ron, and I left a little bit in the tank there. Kind of Greggy got a little bit closer, and I turned it up a little bit, but he was keeping with me. But I think it was just enough to keep him behind me for those last 10 laps or so. So yeah, it was a blast. I love doing it here at Bristol. I was just telling Ron Hart a second ago, if it's a track where I can hit the bottom and you just got to not make mistakes and kind of grip it and rip it, it's kind of right up my alley. So I had a blast. Yeah, and it's cool to be up here in this new victory lane that they got going on at this new and improved Bristol. So it's cool. I'm happy to finally get another one.
Yeah, that it is. It's really cool to see a race car up here, and I'm so glad you drove up there. I was waiting the whole time, Tanner, for you to hopefully win up here, and saw the nice burnout up the ramp here, and it looks awesome down here in the infield.
Yeah, I was trying to do a burnout, but the old late model stock doesn't really have a lot of power, so I was trying to do a burnout going up the hill, and it just felt like I had traction control on. So I tried going in reverse and then dumping the clutch and doing that. It wasn't working, so I got it to do about a foot-long burnout up the ramp. And then I got to the top, and I high-centered on the crown of the ramp, and I couldn't get turned, so I did like a 15-point turn to get this thing into victory lane. So that was, I'm not even mad.
Yeah, you can't
Glad
be mad.
that we won, so.
Exactly. Can't be mad after all that. You know, a great 100-lap race. Who cares about the turn to victory lane? The biggest thing that matters is you're heading there anyways.
Yeah, I'm fired up, man. It's kind of, I mean, call it nerdy, call it what you want. I know a lot of people look at winning on a sim like this as just, you know, a hobby or whatever, but we do put a lot of time into this stuff, and to finally get another one, and especially when you see how far the competition and stuff has improved over the last few seasons, kind of across the board for ASRC, between the street stocks and the late model stocks, it just means that much more. So everybody that's in here, I feel like, if they put themselves in the right positions, has a chance at winning a race any week in either series. So really stiff competition, and just kind of be methodical, and can't believe it. I didn't have hardly any bad luck at all tonight, which is usually not par for the course for me. Usually I get snake bitten at some point, and it never materialized, and everything just worked out one at a time, and took 4 tires, and I got lucky on a restart where really that probably would have been what bit me, is kind of got mired back in traffic. But one restart, there was a bit of a bottleneck, and I think I was able to get myself right up into third in one corner, and that was I think that's kind of what put me in position to try to do something. So it all works out, man. It all works out.
Yeah, that it does, and works out great for you, Tanner, down in victory lane. And of course, yeah, like you mentioned, restarts were probably the name of the game. You managed every single one really well, firing off, it seemed like, at different points. Got great launches each time, and was able to, of course, keep that car right on that inside lane. It seemed like that was the play.
Yeah, at the initial start, tried feeling the top out and kind of running the old school Bristol line where you're kind of like entering in the middle and then right against the wall in the center, and then kind of diamonding it back down to the middle on exit. And it did seem like it was working there for a minute. I think I was battling with JJ for about 10 laps there, and I was hanging with him, but as the tires started getting hotter and hotter and hotter, it started getting too slick up there. So I kind of knew from that point on that it was just going to be a, you know, get on the yellow line and kind of ride the rail type of race. And I've always liked Bristol. I've always liked, you know, tracks, like I said earlier, that you can kind of it forces you to be really, really smooth and hit your marks and not miss the bottom. I've always really enjoyed tracks like that, and this is exactly it. So just when you got to lift a little bit early and you got to make sure that your lift points and not really break points tonight, but your lift points and stuff and your throttle up points are all really, really precise, and you just put the left sides right on the yellow line and just ride that rail like a slot car. That's the most fun for me is when we go to tracks like that. So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it seemed like a great time out here that you had to be right on the edge of traction, both not overdriving the car, getting to the bottom, but of course dealing with a tight car. But I mean, you and Greggy there at the end, flying lap times, and he kept the pressure right on you in case you made a mistake. And you, my man, held strong and no mistakes out of the one like normal.
Yeah, it was weird. I was talking with Greggy down in the waiting room a second ago, and we were kind of talking about the tire strategy and stuff. And I believe Greggy took 2 tires on the pit stop, and I took 4, which usually I would normally take 2, but it was pretty sketchy. I mean, this car was, I won't say loose, but it just kind of, if you missed the bottom and put too much wheel into it, it would kind of take off on you. And knowing that, I figured I'd rather have the security tonight. We're just going so fast through the corner. If you have a little bobble, you give up a lot of time. So I took the 4 tires, and it was a little bit looser than I thought it was going to be. I actually probably would have been better off taking the 2 tires, which actually probably would have made the car get a little bit tighter, which would have been better. But yeah, it took 4 tires, and I kind of got out front in clean air, and the car got really, really free there for a little bit. I kept looking up at Greggy in my mirror the last like 10 laps, and I could kind of tell when I would give up time and what I was doing to give up time. And with about 5 to go, I finally figured out where I was losing all my time and started dialing it back, and was able to at least maintain the gap that I built up from the restart and not lose any more time. So it like I say, it all worked out, and I'm just glad to finally win one of these things. Sounds cliche, everybody says it all the time, but you never really know when the last one's going to be, and you gotta have a really crazy couple of years coming up in life, and not sure really how much more iRacing I'm going to be able to do. So just being able to grab another one like this is awesome, and will definitely, you know, feel good the rest of the week, just knowing that I was able to get another one. So
Yeah, that it is. And Tanner, with those wins, this makes career win number 19 in the league, solidifying your P number 5 place over Hayden Swank by now 2 wins. And yeah, taking a look way back at the stats, last win came in the 87 cars at Hotlanta in 2023.
holy cow! Yeah, I knew it had been a minute. I did know that, and I mean, I probably shouldn't complain too much. I know there's probably guys out there that they're probably just looking for their first win or what have you. But like I say, as somebody that only really gets on here, and I'm on here doing the admin stuff for the street stocks on Wednesdays, but just being able to only actually race one night a week, my opportunities are really, really limited. I'm not doing any official racing or anything like that, so it's a lot harder for me to get in the seat and just absolutely grip it and rip it like you need to try to win on these things. I'm starting to lose the iRacing feel just a little bit. Don't quite have it like I used to, so it's just nice to feel like you accomplished something again and get the feeling back one more time. So like I said earlier, especially with this group of guys, anybody at any point in time in this field can win on any given night. If the cards fall right, I'm in victory lane right now, but it very easily could have been anybody that started the race, and I could be right here too. So, man, this is cool.
Yeah, definitely very awesome stuff here tonight, Tanner. Once again, congrats on the win, man. I'm sure it feels great, and a decent start to start off the season. Of course, last week, runner-up finish. Tonight, picking up the checkered flag. So before we let you go, Tanner, and celebrate the win here tonight at Bristol, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and have you thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors on the race car, some of those teammates, anyone else you want to give a shout out to, whether watching at home or anyone else that comes to mind.
Yeah, first and foremost, all the admin and you, Brett, for all you guys do for the league. It's goes without saying that there's no way this thing would be able to go around without you guys. It's a lot of work and sometimes a headache at times, but I know there's a lot of people that enjoy this, including myself, and nights like tonight totally make it worth it. I've said it a couple times already, but our our group of members is growing every single week, and we've got a really dedicated group of guys that love racing here. I love racing us. I think we all love racing us each other, and pretty laid back environment that we're all hanging out in. And just nice to get on here and kind of kick it with your buddies and stuff a couple nights out of the week and get out of the crazy world that we're all living in. But as far as the car goes, we got Elif Brothers Roofing on the hood. That's my employer as well, so can't leave them out. That wouldn't be good. Boardwalk Subs, KRW Performance and Customs, Accurate Inspections, Postma Interiors, Mike's High Performance Gears, and then I also want to give a shout out to I'm not sure if they're watching or not, or they'll go back and watch the replay, but my dad might watch, and as well as girlfriend Riley for letting me do this 2 nights out of the week. And then I don't know if he's watching either, but Randy, if you're watching, I'll give you a shout out, Randy. I know you watch a lot of these things, so we'll see you this weekend at Owasso.
Alrighty, well, awesome stuff, Tanner. Always a great time chatting with you. So you, my man, go celebrate this win. It's awesome to see.
Thanks, Brett. Appreciate all you do, bud.
Alrighty, folks, that was Tanner Tallarico in the 1 car, picking up his first checkered flag of the season, but more importantly, win number 19 of his ASRC career. Awesome, awesome stuff. So, folks, let's get things wrapped on up here pretty quick. First and foremost, got the post-race results to go through, then a quick few words, and then we'll send you guys off. If you guys are interested in watching some more ASRC racing, be sure to tune in tomorrow night to the Turn 3 Racing Network. Same time, same place, 9 o'clock start time for the broadcast, as we see some of the best street stock drivers take on Bristol. So here tonight for the finishing results for race number 3 at Bristol will be the following. Tanner Tallarico in the 1 car will pick up the win. Greggy Long in the 21 finishes second. And then to round out the podium, it is Stephen Rochford in the 66. JJ McCrae in the 78 there will hang on to a 4th place finish on those old tires. Awesome stuff to see. And then Stephen Hoffman get involved in an incident there at the halfway point. Drove through the field back up to the top 5. He will finish 5th. Chuck Darling, a solid night for him in the 88. Kept that car clean and will finish P number 6. Dave Payton in the 38, will finish P number 7. 8th going to Ron Hart in the 51. Tim Rogers in the 48 will finish 9th. And then it is Scott Rochford in the 77, rounding out the top 10. Zach Hummel in the 31 will finish P number 11. 12th going to the 13 of Zach Coyer. 13th going to Jamie Prevost in the 73. 14th is TJ Hansen in the 41. And then it is James Pileski in the 93, rounding out the top 15. 16th position will be Scott Austin in the 7. JT Batson in the 906 will finish 17th. 18th going to Brad Gresham in the 36. 19th is Nicholas DeBoer in the 74. And then Mark Welch in the 24 will finish 20th here tonight. Tough break for Welch. So that will do it here tonight from the Postma Flooring Late Model Stock Series. Like I mentioned before, be sure to tune in tomorrow night for the Street Stocks. Or, of course, next Tuesday, as these drivers will take on Myrtle Beach, that will be another fun race. So want to thank all the people tuning on in here live, and as well as the people that tune in here late in a replay mode. Appreciate all you guys clicking on the video, taking your time to enjoy the race with myself and all these drivers that put on a show. Got to give a big shout out to ASRC, as well as the drivers that do take their time out of their days to spend their nights racing with us. Another big thank you we got to give is Premier Setup Shops. Turn 3 is partnered with Premier Setup Shops. You can find a link in the description that will take you over to their website. Even if you don't want to buy anything, a click would go a long way here. And yeah, you guys have been doing awesome here using that link here. So I really, really do appreciate it here, folks. So that will do it here tonight. Hopefully everyone had a great Memorial Day weekend. Thank you to everyone that has served and put their lives on the line. We wouldn't be able to do what we do without the sacrifices those that have made. Alrighty, folks. Well, that will do it here tonight from Bristol. Everyone have a safe rest of your week. Safe rest of, safe, happy time here. And, we'll catch you guys in the near future. I have been Brett the Jet in the booth, and I just flew by you. Have a good one.